Okay, so grab a seat, come all the way down. Close your eyes. Just take a few moments. So you can either rest the hands on the knees, you can bring them into the lap, just place them wherever you're comfortable, wherever you can fully relax through the arms, the shoulders. A couple of deep breaths. Maybe that's in and out through the nose, or maybe out through the mouth. Maybe a big sigh out. Take two more. And then breathing in and out through the nose. So finding a steady breath. And anything that's racing through your mind that you've got on later today, just park it to the side, pick it up after practice. Give yourself the next 45 minutes just to be as present as you can, as connected as you can. So really moving with the breath, really thinking about each movement, what you're trying to engage, what you're trying to lengthen, the space you're trying to find, so that you make the most of the time that you've already put aside this morning. And then sweep the arms up to the sky, nice big breath. Interlace the fingers, push the heels of the hands up to the sky like you're trying to reach for the ceiling. Take a side bend over to the right, stretch out the left side of the body. And then breathe in, lift back to center. And breathe out, take it over to the left. Breathe in, come back to center. Exhale, take the hands down to the lower back. Interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles away from you, lift the chest forwards. If it's okay in the neck, you might want to look up to the sky as well. If that's a bit too much, then just keep the gaze forwards. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Release the hands, bring them in front of you so you're to all fours. We'll just start with some movement through the shoulders. So let the chest drop down between the biceps, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then push into the upper back, stretch the shoulder blades apart. So not quite cat-cow, just movement of the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then rounding through the back and stretching the shoulder blades apart. So just the shoulder blades, trying to find some movement on the back. Go two more times. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. So just lengthen through the backs of the legs. Give a pedal out through the heels, bending into the knees, swaying the hips side to side. And then roll the body forwards to a plank position. Take the feet a little bit wider than you normally would in your plank, so you feel like you're a bit firmer, a bit stronger through the lower body. Take the right hand, tap the left shoulder, and then bring the right hand down. Left hand lifts, tap the right shoulder. So do that twice more each side. Try and minimize the movement through the torso. So really trying to keep the body pretty still, but just move the hands and the shoulders. And then when you've done that last one, left hand, lift back into downward facing dog. Pull the navel into the spine. Take a breath. And exhale. One more in. And exhale. Move as if you're going to rest the knees on the floor, but I just want you to hover them above the ground. Pull the abdominals in. So you're holding this all fours position, but without the knees touching the floor. Lift back into downward facing dog. The lift comes from the lower abdominals. So bring yourself forwards again to that position where the knees are just off the ground. Pull the belly button in. And then lift back into downward facing. Do that one more time. Bring the body forwards, knees hover off the floor. Hold it, back into downward facing. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Rest both knees down, so actually bring them down to the floor, and then rise up and take your left leg out to the side. So I'll go sideways so you can see. Grab a circle if you have it. If you don't have it, you're just going to use the arms. Point the left toes. So instead of dumping the left foot down, challenge yourself a bit more on the balance and just have the toes to the floor. So if you have a circle, you're holding on, reaching the arms up to the sky. I'm not grabbing it, my fingers are long. Lean the body over to the right. So you've less push down through that left foot because you're just on the toes. So it's a bit more of a challenge. And then bring yourself back up. If you don't have a circle, you're just holding your hands in the same position, but just without the circle. Lean and lift. Go for 3 more. Lean, so really waking up the side of the body. And lift. Although the arms are long, try not to have too much stress through the top of the shoulders and the neck. Last one. Now, if you have a circle, keep it in the left hand. If you don't, your left hand is just going to come to your left hip, right hand to the floor. So if you have a circle, bring it down to the ground so you can push into that circle. We're going to lift the left leg and lower. Lift and lower. If you don't have a circle, just keep the hand on the hip. Lower the top leg and lift. Lower and lift. If you have a circle, you're just pushing down, so there's some more resistance through that top shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the left knee, bring it next to the right knee. Come all the way up through center. Take your right leg out to the side. Point the right toes. Reach the circle up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lean over to the left. Breathe in. Lift back through center. And breathe out. Take it down. Breathe in. Lift back through center. And breathe out. Try and go a little further. Breathe in. And breathe out. You've got 1 more. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out. If you have a circle, it stays in the right hand, left hand comes down. So either right hand and circle to the floor, or your right hand to the right hip. Lift the right leg and lower. Keep stretching away as you lift and lower. So really point the right toes away. You're just constant pushing into that right hand. Lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the right knee next to the left knee. Take the circle out in front of you. Hands to the floor, knees back behind you. So you're back into an all-fours position. Neutral through the spine. So just watch the spine doesn't drop. Keep that long line through the spine. Stretch your right leg back. So pointing your right toes to the wall behind you. Stretch them back as far as you can. And then the size of a lemon, start to draw tiny circles with the right toes. So really small circles, nothing too big. So really just controlling that movement from the right hip. Starting really slow and steady. Go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let the circles get bigger. So I want them to be about the size of a dinner plate. Still, the movement is only coming from the right hip. It's not coming into the lower back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take them even bigger so it's the size of a beach ball. Still just coming from the right hip. So hopefully starting to feel it in the back of the right glutes. Go for 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay that size, just reverse the direction. So same size, so still a nice big circle, but just moving the foot in the opposite direction. Still coming from the right hip. 3, 2, 1. Back to the size of a dinner plate. Keep the direction. Keep the strength even through both shoulders. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the size of a lemon. So back to those small controlled movements. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Come down to the forearms. So keep that right leg extending back. Try not to drop into the spine. Push into the back of the shoulders. Lift the right leg high as you can take it. Point the right toes, lower the right leg. So keep the toes extending back. Lift all the way up to the ceiling as high as you can take it, but slow, don't rush. Exhale, come all the way back down. So hopefully feeling it in the back of the hip. Lift all the way up. Bring it all the way down. Lengthen as you lift. Lengthen as you lower. So constantly trying to reach the toes to the wall behind you. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. I want you to hold it at the very top. Just check and pull the waist in. Tiny pulses at the top. 15, 14, 13, 12. Keep navel to spine. Keep breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the right knee next to the left knee. Rise up to both hands. Tuck the toes and lift back into downward facing dog. So enjoy a good stretch through the back of the right leg. Take your time, take a couple of breaths. Lengthen down through both heels. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Bend both knees. Walk the feet towards the hands, relaxing in a forward fold. If you have a ball, it's going to go between the ankles. If you don't, just squeeze the ankles together. So I want you to push down into the big toe joints, push down into the balls of the feet, and then pull the waist in, roll the spine up. So make that roll up slow. As you're pulling in, I want you to think about connecting all the way up through the inner thighs, pulling in through the obliques. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, lift tall. And then exhale, bring the arms back down by the side. When the hands come to the side, chin comes into the chest, roll the spine back down. Push into the feet. Pull in through the waist. Engage all the way up through the thighs. Roll the spine forwards. Nice and slow, no rush. You've got 2 more. Push into the feet. Roll back up. Pull in around the spine. So constantly trying to pull into the midline. Reach the arms up. Exhale, arms come down by the side. Chin into the chest. Spine rounds forwards. So how much space can you make through the back of the body as you roll forwards? And then we've got 1 more going up and coming back down. So push into the feet. Engage through the inner ankles. Feel the pull up through the inner thighs. Pull navel to spine. Curl and roll up. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Make this last roll down really slow and specific. So take the arms down by the side. Bring the chin into the chest. Draw the waist in. Allow the shoulders to roll forwards. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Coming down into your forward fold, keeping the pressure through the feet into the ball or into the ankles. And then relax forwards. Take the ball out. Just take the hands down. Step back to all fours. So you're back on your hands and knees. Neutral position through the spine, so not too rounded, certainly not dropping. Take the left leg back. Left toes point back. So we're starting with those tiny circles, size of a lemon, pushing into both hands, keeping the shoulders even, and just keeping the breath steady for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those circles move to the size of a dinner plate, so they get a little bigger. Still only coming from the left hip, not dropping into the spine. 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Even bigger, size of a beach ball. So don't be afraid to move across the midline, so that left foot might stretch over to the right side of the room, but the movement is still coming from the hip. 5, 4, 3, navel in, 2, 1. Same size circle, but opposite direction. So just spin it the other way. You feel like you're starting to drop into the lower back, just push down into the hands. Pull in through the waist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the size of a dinner circle, a dinner plate. That's a cross between a dinner plate and a Pilates circle, for those of you interested in what one of those is. And then you're going to go back to the size of a lemon. Small movements. Feel that in the back of the left hip. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the forearms. So reposition yourself. Left toes still pointed away. Left leg nice and long. Lift the left leg high. And then lower it down. Toes pointed. And the leg is stretching back. So reach up and away. And then slowly lower down. Just make sure you're not flinging the leg up. So reach away as you lift. Stretch away as you lower. Reach away as you lift. Stretch as you lower. So constantly thinking length and height. And then length as you lower. Length and lower. We're going to hold it at the top here, and you're pulsing. Tiny movements, isolating the contraction to the back of that left hip for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Keep breathing. 10, 9, 8. Don't collapse through the upper back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your left knee next to the right knee. Come to both hands. Tuck both toes. Stretch the hips up to the sky. So a really long stretch through the back of the left leg. Give the head a shake. Nod yes. Wiggle side to side no. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a big breath and let it go. Walk the feet forwards, bring them all the way to the hands, and then you're going to have a seat. Now, if you have a band, grab it. If you don't have a band, I'm going to give you the same kind of exercise anyway. If you have a band, it's going on the feet, so around the feet like it's a stirrup. So just right around the center of the foot. And do some marching through the psoas. So roll all the way down. So lying on the floor, first of all, just relax the arms down by the side, knees are bent, feet are flat. I've got that band around my feet, but there's no resistance on it yet. So we're going to work between two exercises. The first being in and out of a glute bridge, so controlling the roll up and the roll down. And then the second being a psoas march, so where we march the feet away. You can do them both, as I say, without a band if you've not got one. So take the arms down by the side. Feet come in a little bit closer to the hips. They don't have to be touching, but bring them in a little. Push down into the feet, tuck the tailbone under, and really slowly roll all the way up to the shoulders. There's no resistance on my band here. It's just round the feet for convenience of the next exercise. So really carefully rolling up through the spine. I want you to get to the top of that lift and then correct your posture. So tuck the tailbone under, pull the navel in, squeeze through the glutes and drive down into the feet. So notice how much difference you can make with all those small adjustments. And then roll the spine down. Roll down by pulling in the abdominals. So it's like the abdominals get really strong and they're what's drawing the spine down to the floor. And you're going to rest the hips at the bottom. And then we're going to go back up. So let the hips fully release. So when they release, there'll be a little bit of a gap underneath the lower back. And then we're going to tuck the tailbone under again, pull the waist in, and roll the spine all the way up. Really carefully, really slowly, controlling the movement through each vertebrae of the spine. When we get to the top, tailbone tucks under, glutes squeeze on, feet push down, find that strength, that connection, and then rolling it back down by pulling the navel in. And you're massaging the spine down to the floor. So no dropping, no falling, really super controlled. And then once the hips rest to the ground this time, we're going to let the hips go. Bring the feet off the floor so the shins are parallel to the ground. Hands hold the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders off the floor. So pull the waist down and in. With or without a band, it's obviously better with. If you don't have one, just do the same action. Keep the left knee where it is. Stretch the right leg as far away as you can. Don't let it move the left foot or left knee. Bring the right knee back. Left leg stretches out. So if you don't have a band, you're just kind of imagining that resistance. And if you have a band, the challenge is to keep the bent knee exactly where it is and come back. So there's almost a push and a pull because technically we're pulling with that bent knee, even though it's not moving. So there's a push and a pull. Bring it back. It's really slow and still. Go for 3. Pull the navel in. 2. Back to center. 1. Back to center. Place both feet down. Rest the head, neck, shoulders to the floor. Take the arms down by the side. Lift the hips back up. So roll up through the spine. This time we're going to keep the hips lifted. Keep the feet driving down. Tuck the tailbone under. But we're just going to lower the hips 2 inches and then drive back up by squeezing the glutes. So it's not all the way down, it's just a slight lower. And then lift back up, but make sure you squeeze the glutes at the top, so make sure you get that full contraction. Go for 8. Lift. So keep the waist pulling in. Keep the feet pushing down. And I want you to almost feel like you're squeezing and contracting the glutes so much at the top. There's almost a shake to the contraction, and then lower. 5. Doesn't have to be a huge movement at all. It's just if you can feel it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now slowly roll this down. Pull the waist in, rolling your spine to the floor. Let the hips go. And then lift the feet off the floor. Shins parallel to the ground. Hands come to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders. Same thing. Left knee stays still. Right leg stretches away. Right knee comes back. Left leg stretches away. So there's a push of the left leg and a pull through the right foot. Back to center. Switch. Back to center. Switch. Center. 5, 4, try and lift the head, neck, shoulders higher. Push the lower back into the floor. 3. Keep the waist in. 2. And last one. Back to center. Rest the feet down. Rest the head. Take the arms down by the side. Roll the hips all the way up off the floor. Lifting the hips up to the sky. And then I want you to wriggle the feet next to one another. So that's going to mean the band will go loose, but you can just leave it there. You don't need to adjust it. Tuck the tailbone under. So just be careful here. You don't start sinking into the lower back. So I've got hips lifted, feet are close together, knees are touching. Keep the hips high, open the knees. So my feet stay connected. Close the space between the knees. Open the space between the knees, and the glutes are working to maintain the height through the hips. Go for 8, 7, 6. So keep lifting the hips, keep pulling the navel to spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll the hips down to the floor. Just take the band off the feet, so just kick it to the side, but bring the knees back into that same position. Hands to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders off the floor. So now we're going to do a similar exercise, but rotate through the upper body, and we'll hold it a little. So stretch the right leg away. Take the right shoulder and elbow over to the left knee. They won't actually touch, but just the intention. Back to center, both knees together. Other side, left elbow, right knee, left leg stretches away. So really slow. Back to center. Right leg stretches out, right elbow lifts over. Back to center. Left elbow reaches to the right knee. Back to center, really slow. Go for 3. Back to center. 2. Back to center. Last one. Back to center. Hold the head, neck, shoulders off the floor. Extend the legs to the sky. Little bend in the knees is fine. And then slowly lower down to a point where you feel the tension through the abdominals. So a point where you think if you went any further, your lower back would start to lift significantly. Hold it for 5. Pull the belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lie onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. And give yourself a rock from side to side. So just breathe. Let that go. Inhale. And exhale. And then make your way onto your left-hand side. So lying all the way down on your left arm out, both legs straight. Take a moment to come down and just notice when you get into that position, if you're led with the top hip a bit forwards or a bit back, you're trying to find somewhere perfectly in the middle of those 2 points. So where the body is in a nice straight line. Point both toes away from you. Use the right fingertips for a little bit of support. Lift both legs off the floor. So I'm squeezing my inner thighs together and using that right side waist to lift both legs. Then lower down. Lift both legs. And then lower down. I find it easier if I close the eyes. I'm less inclined to try and lift the head or the neck. And lower. Last 2. And lower. Last 1. And lower. Bend the bottom knee. Bring it in front of you so you've got 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. Lift the right leg. So it's a good foot off the floor. And just start drawing those circles, again the size of a lemon. So small circles going in one direction. Movement coming from the hip, not into the lower back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to the size of a dinner plate. So it takes a little bit more control. Actually quite a lot of stabilization through the center of the body as well. So it's not all just the leg and the hip. There is going to be some work through the very center. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even bigger, size of a beach ball. So you might need to slow it right down so that you can control that extension through the back leg. So as you take it behind, you feel the glutes and the hamstring working. 3, 2, 1. Change direction. So keep the circle big. Go as slow as you need to control it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Size of a dinner plate. Oh boy, I'm starting to feel it now. We won't do many dinner plates. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tiny, size of a lemon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back top leg, bring it all the way in and rest the knee to the floor. So you should feel a nice stretch across the hip. And then if you want a bit more, reach the left arm to the left side of the room. Stretch the right arm back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out. One more breath. Exhale. Just roll over onto your back. And then bring yourself up to a seated position. Just a bit of abdominal work in between so that you give that right hip chance to rest. Stretch both legs out. And we're going to start sat tall. So sat in an L shape. Reach the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. You're going to roll it down to where you can hold and where you can come back up from. So you're curling into the back. And then inhale, lift back into that tall shape. Exhale, round the spine back down. As you inhale, see if you can take the arms further back than the ears. So you're extending through the shoulders. Exhale, round the spine down. So you actually use the muscles on the back of the shoulders to extend even further back. So we really open the chest. If you're going to spend some of today sat at your laptop, you're going to go the other way. So use this as an opportunity to prevent that damage or that posture. 3, lift up, 2. We're going to hold it down on this one. So stay down. You're rounding back, pulling the waist in. Inhale, just take the arms out to the side. Exhale, bring them back. Pull the waist in. If that was easy, go back another centimeter. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, bring them back in. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, breathe in and out. Come all the way up and lie onto your right hand side. Last exercise on this side. So lie the body down, stretch your right arm out, position yourself so you're in that nice straight line. You know what's coming, so maybe close the eyes so that you can relax the head and just focus on the movements. Squeeze the legs together, lift both feet off the floor, using that top left hip, so using the left side waist, lower back down. We're going that slow. Inhale, lift, hold, so you're using that left side. Exhale, lower. 3 more, lift, make it strong, lift a little higher and lower. You don't need your neck to lift, so keep the head relaxed. Lift, lifting from the hip, lift and then lower. This is your last one. Lift, hold, lift a little higher and then lower down. Bend the bottom knee. Keep the top leg long and lift it about a foot off the floor. And we start with tiny circles the size of a lemon. And enjoy this bit because you know what it's going to feel like when we come back to these circles at the other end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Size of a dinner plate. So keeping the upper body still. But just notice, even though you're not asking the upper body to move, maybe you can feel the sensation and the strength and the support that's needed around the center of the body as you move that left leg. 3, 2, 1. Even bigger, size of a beach ball. I keep using descriptions like beach balls, rainbows, like dreaming of summer and nice, bright, sunny things. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2. Stick with it. These are the last 3 exercises. So we're coming back the other way. Big rotations. And you might need to go slow when the rotations are big so that you can control it and make sure that it is truly coming from the left hip, not just loads of movement through the back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming into the circles the size of dinner plates. Oh, hopefully feeling it. 8, 7, 6. Please make sure you're still breathing. 5, 4. Relax the head and the neck. 3, 2, 1. Size of lemons. Oh, if you can manage it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top leg all the way in. Rest the knee to the floor. I don't know if that's just me. Reach your right leg, your right arm, sorry, to the right side of the room and let that left arm stretch back. Big stretch through the left hip. 3 deep breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, lie onto your back. Have the feet flat on the floor. Let the knees just rest in. Doesn't need to be such a huge internal rotation as we normally do. Just rest the hands on the belly. Just want you to slow the breath down. And with the hands on the belly, just notice that movement through the center of the body. The expansion. And then that softening. Breathe in. And out. Heavy through the back of the body, so you feel really supported by your mat and able to just let go through the front of the body. Bring the knees into the chest. Both knees come in. If you like, give a little rock from side to side. And then without too much fuss, just cross one shin over the other. Rock yourself up to a seated position. Sit nice and tall. Bring the hands into a prayer position. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out, stretch the arms out wide to the sides of the room. Bring them all the way back through center. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, take it out as wide as you can. Inhale all the way up. As wide as you can, leave them out to the sides of the room. Sweep them to the lower back, interlace the fingers, reach the knuckles away from you, lift the chest open. See if you can stretch the hands further back than you did at the start of the practice. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Bring the hands to rest on the knees with the eyes closed. Just stacking the spine so it's nice and tall. And then bring the hands into heart center. Just bow the chin into the chest. Thank yourself for getting up early and coming to join me this morning. Thank you, guys.